throw the shot put. Now I remember the disc. Did
Yep.
all that.
Yep.
They teach you that.
They teach, and they have the whole big field for it. They have a whole. It's a big thing now.
Oh
what I
yeah,
heard.
they had the shot put and the distance thing on the grass.
Yep. The only thing we didn't do is we didn't throw the
Javelin.
I was going to call it a spear.
Yeah,
right?
no,
A spear. No,
yeah, no, they don't. They don't teach that one.
They didn't trust kids enough with the javelin.
But that would have been cool to do javelin.
Yeah.
That's like fencing. I never did fencing. My nephew does it.
I never did fencing either, and that was always something that I would have enjoyed trying.
Yeah,
it's fucking sword fighting. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, right. What's cooler than sword fighting?
Sword fighting.
Yeah.
You know, like who wouldn't want to fucking know?
It's
how to sword
poking
fight?
though. It's not like the samurai
yeah,
sword.
Yeah, it's not like Conan the Barbarian type of sword fighting.
Right.
You know, but it's still you got a sword in your hand. You learn technique, and And that's another thing. You got to have good hand-eye coordination. You got to be swift. You got to be swift to fence.
Listen, they used to do it back in the day for real, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And kill each other.
Oh yeah.
Right. So my point is like you said. I mean, what gets more pressurized than that?
A fucking sword.
Back with the 1, 2, 3, turn around and shoot.
Yeah.
With the sword.
10 paces.
That's
That was,
you think you're having a bad day now?
That was the worst way to gunfight. We're gonna take 10 paces and turn around and shoot at each other.
And the other guy takes 9.5 on purpose.
He turns around and shoots you in the fucking back.
Yeah, and what do they penalize you?
Yeah. Oh no, they kill you. They fucking kill you, I guess. Cause
I was thinking that maybe they kill you.
They probably kill you. I'm sure. But that was like the stupidest. I challenge you to a duel. What? A duel?
Right, a duel.
We're gonna stay back to back, walk 10 paces. Well, what if your 10 paces are shorter than mine? What if I got longer legs than you and I gotta go a longer distance? This is bullshit.
Right.
Fuck that.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, I always wanted to fence. I always had a thing.
I always thought it was cool.
Yeah, I always had a thing for
How do you
swords.
do that? How do you sign up for fencing? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you would have to be in school.
There was no means.
I don't even think we had fencing. Well, we probably did.
I don't think my school had a fencing team.
You see, the schools have the badminton, and you're like, oh, I used to play that in my backyard.
Yeah, but you ever seen how they play in fucking China, Japan, and shit?
Yeah,
that shit is no joke.
I know. It's like ping pong.
Yeah,
you play downstairs back and forth with your friend.
Playing.
Right,
we weren't playing. We were monkeying around.
Those guys are
those
in the
fucking guys
those guys in the front row, jumping over the wall and 25 feet away. Forget about it. It's unbelievable. Like you said, getting back to
guys
being
hitting a birdie at 100 miles an hour. I didn't even know a birdie could go 100 miles an hour.
How those guys,
just
control that ping pong ball with feel.
Oh, yeah.
Like you control a guitar or whatever. It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, it's
from 25 feet away, put it right on the back of the. They know
on
what
the
they're
corner.
doing. Yeah,
right on the corner of the table. No problem. You
they're
do it
not,
10 times in a row.
Those aren't accidents. Those are good shots.
No, that's
just
practice.
like tennis.
That's practice, and that's what I try to explain to my son. I'm like, practice. You just got to keep practicing, practice.
Oh, yeah.
Like he gets upset
because then it becomes
that
like
kids
a yo-yo.
are better than him at certain stuff, and I'm like, you're just starting. We didn't get you into stuff until you were 5 or 6. Some of these kids started playing soccer when they were 2. You can't get. I was like, you can get good. I was like, you can get better than them. I was like, just because they're good now doesn't mean that they're more talented than you. It doesn't work like that. It was like you just have to figure out what you're good at and focus on it. I was like, and that's it. I was like, every sport has different positions. You may not be a great goalie, but you can be a great defenseman. It depends. You could be a great forward. Don't get frustrated or get frustrated and work your ass off and fucking get better.
Absolutely.
Like, I know people that were terrible at fucking certain things, and they just kept doing it, and didn't let anybody tell them fucking anything. And then they come back, and you're like, holy shit.
Well, it's so funny you say that about nobody tell them anything and taking criticism. And the other day, I was up at Play Like a Pro, which is a baseball academy in Hop Hog.
Yep, I know.
Right.
I know of it.
So I was in Matt's office, and I said, Matt, what were you talking about?
You had to, if you don't let anybody tell you that you're not good enough, or if somebody's better than you, work harder.
Okay,
work harder.
Sal Augustinelli signed him, Philadelphia Philly scout. He played with the Phillies, with the Ducks here, and
somebody told him he was never going to make it.
I lost my whole train of thought. With it.
But yeah, that's what I keep telling him is don't, just work harder. That's sometimes
right.
that's what it takes. Sometimes you can be better than the most talented person because you work harder.
Right. So he said, some people don't take criticism well.
Yes. Yeah.
And I said, see, I do. Because like you said, when you get frustrated, it's like constant. I'm watching the show The Resident, and the guy in charge of the new residents that come in, he's off his rocker. He's very hard on them, insane.
Yeah.
And the first guy, the guy goes and complains to one of the women, one of the nurses, head nurses, and she says he's the best. Just fight through it. And sure enough, become good friends. He's a nice guy. But doing your work, see, that's the thing. We talked about art. There's two things. There's art and work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you don't work, there is no art. Yeah, right. Exactly. There's no art. So, my thing is I do better when people tell me I'm not good than, and tell me why. I don't then to people to say, oh wow, you're really good at baseball or this or that.
Yeah.
So it's like I rather, it's the old lesson. You only learn when you lose.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And I don't mind the criticism, especially when it's coming from a positive place.
Oh, I used to hate it.
If you're criticizing me to try to make yourself out like you're better than me, well then you can go fuck yourself. But I did a comedy competition for Broadway.
Yeah, you
Comedy
see
Club,
right through that anyway.
And the guy who booked me on it, his name is Gordy. Every time I do this, he comes back and he tells me, "Look, I like this, I like this, I like this. This was okay, but do this, this, and this, and change it up." And that criticism is like, "Oh, thank you. All right, cool, thanks."
Oh,
and it's not like other people haven't told it to me, but
listen. That criticism is a gift.
You need that.
Yeah.
Thank God somebody's doing that.
Exactly.
A lot of people just give you enough rope to let yourself hang.
Oh yeah, that's the old lesson. The coach only cares if he's yelling at you.
Yeah.
You should be worried when he stops yelling at you.
Yeah, exactly. If he's not communicating with you, that means he's done with you.
Yeah. So
and you don't want that to happen. You don't want
Joey Cola did it to me at Governor's.
Oh yeah,
it was incredible, and it's funny because, like we're saying, those moments almost change your life, or could change your life, because I didn't even know who he was, and all my friends are like, "No, he's he's just
headliner,
right there." You know what I mean? From being stardom, people say he's that funny, that he actually should be, up there with a Chris Rock or whatever, or so to speak. So when he stopped me and he said, "Oh wow, you got a good story up there. I enjoyed watching." I was like, "Oh my," because I didn't. When you're up there working, unless you're killing a room, you don't really know. You get a couple laughs and that's cool. I'm new at this. Remember, I've only done six or seven gigs so far, and each time it's the criticism that makes you better, because unless you're videotaping and watching yourself, which is very hard to do in any art.
Of course.
Right. You already did it.
You can't. It sucks because some of my best shows didn't get videotaped because I didn't have anybody there to videotape me. Usually my wife does it.
Sure.
And that's annoying, but you're right. That doesn't give you the chance to look at your stuff all the time. I had something similar with Sean Lynch, who's worked for Comedy Central. He's a big time comedy writer. He did John's comedy competition, not this past year, but the following year. I was only 8 months in, and afterwards he came up to me and he was like, "I like you."
Oh yeah. You mentioned that.
Funny.
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
Change this.
Yep.
He's like, I don't want to see you in fucking shorts and a t-shirt ever again.
And like I said, you're like, wow, thank you, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
thanks. All right.
Anytime you get, it's
anything.
like being a baseball player. I want to, Don Mattingly telling you, "Hey, keep your hands back," or it's incredible.
Choke up on the bat, whatever. Yeah, exactly. You got a good swing, but try this out.
Try this out.
Of course.
That's free tip. From a pro.
And not everybody's like that.
If you're a singer and you get to talk to Billy Joel and he tells you a couple things, it could,
it could
change the whole situation, change your whole life. 100%.
Absolutely.
So, art. music, hip hop. We were in the hip hop game, so
Yep. I was in for a very long time.
Sports, it's funny because I worked for a place in Hollywood. I got a gym teacher job. The place was called Muse Art, and this woman, Tina Bucatello, I hate to butcher her name, but what an awesome woman who started this place, Muse Art, where she taught music, art, paint, dancing, cooking, all these home economics as we used to have back in, junior high. I don't think they do that anymore. They told me home economics.
No, not like we had it.
Right.
They do it, but it's
pretty
I know
cool.
In my school they do it, but it's more like cooking.
They do that.
In the school that I work for, they do a couple days a week.
Oh, that's cool. Good. So they do still do
it's
stuff like that.
I don't think that they do sewing and
right. We did all that,
did.
and
they do like baking and teaching how to work with here's how to use the microwave type of thing.
Well, my point is that I want to start a life academy where anybody can come in. Right, you're having a tough time. You're on the like I said, I someone today said, I got a couple kids, but they're troubled. I said, listen, we welcome that. You know what I mean? Because they deserve opportunity to change their lives, like we just said, and get better.
And sometimes parents get so frustrated that they don't know what to do anymore, and they forget that there's outlets.
Yep. Well,
put your kids in sports.
Well,
put your kid in martial arts or boxing or something, and see where it goes. Maybe see if that helps. A lot of times, that's what it. Especially nowadays with these kids, because it's all about the iPad and the television. They get restless, or they get, they don't get like. Go outside, do something.
The thing is if you have a troubled kid, and everyone shuts him out, now you have a problem.
Yeah. Now you have a shut out troubled kid that's going to become more troubled because nobody's listening to his.
So my thing is like how you bigged me up right away with coaching kids and helping kids. So the thing is I'm a shot to try and help this person. Now, if you go play baseball, because listen, it happened today. You got a guy that got out of prison, and I said, "This guy's a good ball player." You know what I mean? And I said, "Listen, you can come play ball."
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I mean, it wasn't. It's not like a violent crime or anything like that. He had a rough situation, but
people getting shit out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was actually not. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary, but this is on the pro team. The kid was good. So I said, listen, if he comes down, you automatically feel better about yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're killing time without having to be somewhere else. You're part of a team, which, as we know, is whether it's a comedy team, a baseball team, anything. A band. You remember those people for life. There's no way around it. And you may hate them, you may love them, but they're part of your family now. So I offer that opportunity. I'm in the business of making people better. So short of murder, rape,
Listen, I have a couple of friends that went to prison, a couple of family members that went to prison.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm just saying I wouldn't be prejudiced against the guy.
They weren't bad people. They just fucked up. People fuck up. It's human nature. If that's how every animal fucks up. It's
well said.
Every animal fucks up. That's how you learn. That's part of the learning process, and you never stop learning. It doesn't matter how old you get.
Right.
You do become wiser as you get older, but it's because you've experienced something, and someone like me, I got into a lot of trouble as a kid, so I can see trouble before it comes. I can see it from across the room, be like, that's fucking trouble, I'm out of here. I ain't trying to go to jail, I'm not trying to get arrested, I don't need none of this shit. But it's with kids, they don't have that, so you have to help them get through that. And when I graduated from alternative school, I wanted to teach alternative school kids because I was like, you know what? When we were into alternative school, they basically told us, like I say in my comedy bit, it's military or prison.
Mm-hmm.
pick one.
Yeah.
Because that's where you're going from here. And I graduated, and I'm